There's the part to cut out. Okay, so
No, he didn't. He wasn't throwing him under the bus. He wanted him to be a part of the conversation, even if it was to say that he didn't watch.
I was just going around the circle. It slipped me brain hole. I think we got
brain fart.
Oh,
Don't worry
whatever
about
gas
it.
you want to pass. I got.
I wish I could. I'm constipated.
Oh no! What
Ooh.
happened, buddy?
That sounds
Yeah,
painful.
when's the last time you took a bowel movement?
That's,
When's the last BM?
Not today.
All right. And this is another episode of Movie Toast. This is a reviews episode. Corey, I fucking swiped it.
We're gonna go with this.
No, we're not
Yanked
going
it.
with this. I want to see how far this was gonna go. I mean, no,
We are.
no,
I was
we're not
waiting
going with
for
this.
I was
Oh,
waiting
no.
for Adam to be like, "Oh, I'm taking off the recording."
Yeah.
Let's
Let's go back.
I was down.
go back.
Oh,
All right, we're good, Corey. Go ahead, buddy.
I mean, if Dennis wants to do it, I could just sit.
That was
here and
that was actually a
spectate.
pretty good. That was a good intro.
Be the easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm not. Whatever, whatever, guys.
You want to do it,
Hey,
Dennis? You can
it's-
do it.
Yeah, sure.
Dennis
He already
never
did.
hosted it.
He already
Everybody
did. It
else
was
hosts
amazing.
this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
Toasters, you're in for a treat. I don't know what I'm doing here. Hopefully, I don't run it into the ground. So, guys, for this fantastic review episode, Adam, what do you got for us?
I watched the Netflix original movie from Happy Madison called The Wrong Missy. It stars David
Ooh.
Spade, Nick Swartzen, Sarah Chalk, Laura Lapkus. She should have been the second name here. And a bunch of other people you've seen from Happy Madison movies. That's Adam Sandler's production company. So this movie is about a man. He's on a bad date, the worst date in the world. This girl fucks with him, and he ends up breaking his legs on the date. And after that, he
Jesus.
swears off dating people. And David Spade meets this one woman who is exactly like him. She doesn't drink. She reads the same books. They have the same point of view. And her name is Missy. And so there's a corporate retreat with the new owner of the company. And there's rumor that David Spade and Adam Sandler's wife are up for the same job. And this corporate retreat is in Hawaii. David Spade's like, oh, wow, we can take someone with us on this trip. I swore off a woman, but this lady I really want to get to know, and I want to take her with me. So he invites her. He gets on the airplane, and it turns out it's the girl from the terrible date in the beginning of the movie. She's a free-spirited, wacky, out there, fucked up lady. On the airplane, she gives him like a horse tranquilizer to knock him out. He wakes up to getting a hand job underneath a blanket on the plane. And so that's just the type of movie you're in for here.
God.
And there's everything from threesomes to hurting yourself to
Shit.
whatever you can imagine a Happy Madison movie has, you have it.
If you had to place this on the spectrum of Happy Madison movies, what is this most similar to?
It's probably at the top tier of the Adam Sandler Netflix movies. Mystery Date I liked. All right, so I'd say it's below Mystery Date. I'd say Mystery Date's like top of the line Netflix Sandler movie. I
Oh,
guess.
interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
what about that other
Nice.
David Spade Adam Sandler movie? That it was like
The Do-Over,
The
where
Do-Over.
they pretend to be dead. Definitely
Yeah.
better than that.
Okay.
Like it's just it's
okay.
refreshing to see David Spade, in my opinion, to see him be the straight man and to take things. See, he's not super over the top with it like he is in like Tommy Boy or whatnot. He's just like a regular guy. It's a quick movie. It's like an hour and a half at most.
Interesting.
Yeah, The Wrong Missy. If you're into Happy Madison movies, you don't want to take stuff seriously. You want a good chuckle here and there. I'd check it out.
So it is a newer movie, so there are not that much tidbits.
Sorry.
So in the scene where Tim, Missy, and Julia are about to have a threesome, spoiler, the song playing in the background is My Neck, My Back, which is covered by Ellie King, who is the daughter of Rob Schneider.
Nice.
And then this is the second movie where Rob Schneider's character gets bitten or attacked by a shark.
Huh.
The last one,
Stinker.
while Wim is
That's my catchphrase.
while Tim is watching the YouTube video of Missy, there's a movie clip on the top right it's called Father of the Year, which is another Netflix movie.
Giant piece of shit starring David Spade.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I didn't pick up on that. Those are
that's
those
funny.
are good for a movie
Nice.
that came out 2 days ago. That's
Yeah.
good.
Nice, man. Well, I've already got it on my list. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one.
I'll
As
have
soon
to
as it was
I'll
before.
have to add it to my list as well because I haven't really been on Netflix that much lately, but I'll definitely
Oh,
add it
shit.
to my list.
Well, hey, Tommy. So what did you watch off of your list?
Oh, I see what you did there. That was beautiful. I love it. So off of my list, I watched the 2014 action adventure comedy, The Interview. This is an interesting movie because if you guys remember back to when it came out or when it almost didn't come out, there was a big controversy over whether they were going to play it in theaters or not because they didn't want to start a war with Kim Jong-un. They were worried if they played this movie in theaters that North Korea was going to bomb us or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what ended up happening, they postponed The Interview in theaters to the point where they weren't going to show it at all.
No, Tommy. It did come out. It was very scarce. I saw it Christmas Day. No, I saw it Christmas Day when it was supposed to come out at the
Okay, well then it was so scarce that it was not playing in any theaters around my area.
I think
And
I
so I
saw
remember-
it with you, Adam.
You may have, yeah.
I just remember one of my friends came up to visit and we rented it on video on demand. This was maybe like a week or two after it first started in the scarcity of theaters / video on demand. We watched it. I laughed throughout the entirety of the movie. I thought it was genius. It was hilarious. It was really, 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 really funny. Second time around, this is the second time I've seen it since then. Just as funny as the first time I watched it. The writing was great. The chemistry between Seth Rogen and James Franco will be talked about, I think, many, many years to come. They got a really good chemistry. Anything they do. Pineapple Express was the first time, I think, that we ever saw them together in a movie. Right? Or was it before that?
Yeah, I'd say for a movie, but they were in Freaks and Geeks together and other little things in there.
Right. That's right. Anyway, so that right there, I mean, just knowing the chemistry between the two of them, that's pretty much the movie. And it's, for those of you that have not seen the movie, it's about this guy. James Franco plays a guy named Dave Skylark, who is a host of his own TV show called Skylark Tonight. It's like a celebrity tabloid type show. And Seth Rogen plays the producer named Aaron Rappaport. Long story short, they find out that North Korean's dictator Kim Jong-un is a huge fan of the show. So
that Eminem is gay.
And that Eminem is gay. And that what's his name? Rob Lowe is going bald.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I guess Seth Rogen's character was noticing that he was wasn't liking where he was with the producing, and it's like, dude, we're talking about dick and balls and this stuff, and it's stupid. I got into journalism because I wanted to report the factual stuff, the really good stuff, this and that, and we're not doing that on this show, so I'm gone. I'm out of here. And James Franco's character convinces him, like, hey, Kim Jong-un is a fan of the show, so why not interview the most notorious man on the planet? Well, Seth Rogen makes it happen. They go to North Korea. The CIA gets involved, and they try to turn it into a assassination mission that no one will ever find out about.
What is it, a honeypot?
Honey dick and honey dick. You honey dick.
Honey dickin'?
Yeah, you honey dicked him.
Honey dickin'? I'm honey dick. Oh my God.
It's just the guy that plays
Randall Park.
Kim Jong-un.
Oh God.
Randall Park.
Fantastic.
He gained weight for his role. I didn't know him before this movie.
Well, Tommy, don't you ever feel like a plastic bag? Sorry, I fucking have to.
Oh man,
my dad tells me
what's
gay.
great is.
Do you like?
I mean, and
there's
so many lines of dialogue, as you can hear, that are quotable. They hate us because they ain't us. I say that all the time. I say that so much, and I've only seen the movie twice. Or they're jealous, or they're peanut butter and jealous. Fucking love it. It's great, and I think my favorite. I laughed just as hard as I did the first time when they're after the party in the beginning of the movie, and James Franco has a boner, and Seth Rogen's like, dude, like seriously, you need to calm down. She's totally honey dicking you or honey potting you or whatever. He's like, no, he's not. You have a boner. And he's like, no, I don't. He's like, take your hands away. He goes, no, I won't. Take your hands away right now. And he goes, you know what? Fine. Look at this. And he stands up. He's like, look at it. I don't know what it is. The way he said it, it's just, I died laughing. Tears flow, like just, oh, I almost couldn't breathe. I was coughing so hard from the laughter. It was, it's so funny.
That's awesome. That sounds like a powerful experience.
Yeah, and there's multiple scenes like that. That's not the only one.
One of my favorites is after he realizes that the store's fake and everything's fake in North Korea, when he's like, was the fat kid fake too?
Yeah, that's right. That was a good one.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
There's just so many. Funny. Yeah.
That point you brought up, Tommy, about rent, because I did the same thing. I thought it was all like, oh, I want to support American cinema, and I bought it on Google Play, like the day it was available to purchase.
Yeah.
And I spent like the $15 or the $10 or whatever it was to have it attached to my Google account forever.
There you go.
And I still have it there.
There you go.
I don't regret it. I mean, it was a fun movie though. I have to agree. Like that, it's still got some solid laughs. I liked watching Seth Rogen and just I liked watching their crew with that size of budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's like, guess what? You keep getting that same quality if you scale up what's being made.
Right. So
proving their point.
Definite green light. I think we're all in agreement. Corey, green light. What do you think of the movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, interesting.
Saw one time, I take it.
I think I was tired, and it was Christmas when I watched it, and I don't remember. I remember the honey dicking, and I remember the hate us because they ain't us.
And one of my favorite parts was the glove, the hand.
I will say, I remember liking This Is the End more.
See, I didn't like this at the end the first two times I saw it, and then it fucking grew on me. I'm like, this is just a bunch of short films. I'm like, this movie's fucking
I was
genius.
the exact opposite.
Three times seeing it in the theater.
First two times, loved it, and couldn't stand it after that.
Wow.
After watching it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
I toss in
watch
really
both of those. And see
that's true.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
See
I
where
haven't
it
seen
stands
this
now.
at the end in a long time. We should do a commentary about that.
Oof.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I remember right before or right around when that movie was coming out and all that news was in the air with North Korea, I was doing PA work for a production company where I had to deliver a fucking Christmas gift bags to the Sony lot, and it was
God.
It was such a big ordeal because I had to go through like 3 or 4 layers of guards to get to
Really?
the mailing department.
Well, because of the email leaks from Sony, yeah.
But yeah, exactly. And it was just like, oh, well, fuck, this is nuts. It kind of feels weird. It felt like some,
Oh, yeah.
compared to the quarantine-like world that we've all since experienced by now, this was a weird feeling of just trying to get through security at that.
My boss on the show that I'm on right now, he was talking about it because he was working on a show on that lot when that all happened. He said, like, everything was like you were working back in the old days. You couldn't use any electronics to send anything. You had to write everything by hand. Like, top-notch security because they were afraid after those leaked emails.
So
you're still on a show?
Oh, I'm on the show. I'm on hiatus, but I'm still on it. He was talking about it one of the last days we were there. And about how Seth Rogen's... their office was right next to Seth Rogen's where he would edit, and they could tell when he was there because they could just smell the weed warping into their office.
God.
So, okay, can I go into the Tommy's tidbits?
Oh, get
right.
them bits.
So,
Tommy?
I'm going to start off with going in correlation with what we were talking about with the threats from North Korea. So on June 25th. 2014, North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency condemned the film without naming it, promising, quote, a merciless retaliation if the film is released. And this is what they said, quote, unquote, making, and you can quote me on the quote, unquote, sorry, making and releasing a film on a plot to hurt our top-level leadership is the most blatant act of terrorism and war and will absolutely not be tolerated. So that right there, like there was
it's
just
the second
you guys
time
know.
we've done that. We did Team America,
World Police.
Yeah. Having since survived the apocalypse, we are here giving you this Movie Toast podcast.
And Kim Jong isn't right now. There's speculation that he's dead, but they're saying he's still alive.
They're saying he's still alive. They're
But
saying
he's
that
really
he's
dead,
recovering.
right?
I don't know. I don't think we'll
Who
ever find
knows?
out.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
my man
news
doesn't
isn't
even.
news anymore.
But he does. Rumor is he doesn't even have an asshole. He doesn't poop.
You tell me my man doesn't
Oh
poopy?
yeah, I heard
Tell
about
him
that.
Tell me my man doesn't poopy?
Oh God.
Yeah, the news is like 10 minutes of news and then half an hour or 45 minutes of speculation now.
Yep.
It's like
So-
2 weeks ago, they were like, guaranteed dead. See the train? He's dead. Then the next week, they're like, oh, he opened up like a rotisserie chicken place or something.
So apparently, Randall Park was the first to audition for the role and got the part immediately. He gained 15 pounds and had his hair cut just like Kim Jong-un. For the interview, he had his hair cut like Kim Jong-un. So there you go. That's
great.
yeah.
He looks completely different than
Confidence.
everything else. Yeah.
Oh, and then if you've seen him in Office Christmas Party, oh, what a creeper! He's great in
God.
Office Christmas Party.
He has what the mommy, the baby mommy fetish
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
God.
so Eminem apparently wrote his own lyrics for the rap in his interview. And then this one's great. This is the last one I'll tell you guys about. There's so many more I want to tell you, but this is the last one I'll tell you about. A group of political activists in South Korea reportedly planned to purchase 100,000 copies of the film with Korean subtitles and drop DVDs and USB sticks containing it over North Korea using balloons. There are tight restrictions on foreign movies in North Korea, but a black market exists, and many citizens have had private access to DVD players and other devices. So that would have been funny if they're like, "Hey, we're going to send 100,000 copies of the movie."
Got an
into the
interview
place
balloon.
where they consider it to be an act of terror, the highest level of terrorism.
God. Man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Mean, but
speaking
funny.
of just deliberate acts of terrorism, Corey, what movie did you review?
Yo, dude, you know I didn't watch shit. This
Oh, throwing you under the bus,
Oh.
bitch.
Damn. Okay, to be honest, this is a solid transition to the quality of film I watched. The 2017 picture, Sleepless,
Oh my God.
starring Jamie Foxx. It is an hour and 34 minutes long. It is starring David Harbour, Michelle Monaghan, Dylan McDermott,
Dermot Mulroney.
Dermot Mulroney. I always mix those up. And then my favorite name in Hollywood, Scoot McNairy.
I love
which I
Scoot
will
McNairy,
say,
dude.
He's
great.
amazing in everything he's in. And he, again, shines in this film, and he is my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it is not saying much. I am not going to be shy about my opinion of this film. So I will say the movie starts off fantastic. Within the first 3 minutes of the movie, we have a shootout. We got dudes in masks stealing drugs from another car full of dudes. And then another car pulls up and they have a shootout and they got to get away from before the cops show up. And lo and behold, one of the guys in masks shooting the people stealing the drugs is Jamie Foxx, who is a cop. And
Flaunting
we find
his
out
muscles.
Not really. Actually,
Oh,
that's going to
okay.
be one of my criticisms of this film.
All
which
right.
Maybe that's a comment on the original film, but I don't know because I haven't seen it.
Got it.
This is a remake of a French movie that is of the same subject matter. So what we come to find out is that Jamie Foxx is a cop. His partner, T.I., of course, as you would be in Vegas, your partner would be T.I., trying to highlight it's Vegas multiple times. And then they have the most ironic Vegas traffic of never seeing another car on the street the entire fucking movie, which is, again, another problem I had with the movie that was just fucking ridiculous. And then the fact that the casino they're in, there's only ever 3 rooms we ever see the entire movie.
You don't go to small
And with
casinos?
it was a $30 million budget. They built a one-room casino for this movie and a soundstage, and it becomes very, very clear that seemed to be the case, because I'd say a third of the movie takes place in the same room, and it's not even. It doesn't do it in a cool way. It does it in a we got to shoot the shit out of the space that we've spent the money on. At least it feels like. Even if it was in a casino, they still only kept sticking to the same few places. But beside the point. We get T.I. Jamie Foxx stealing drugs. They look like they're dirty cops. Turns out they've stolen drugs from this kingpin in Vegas. or this guy who's doing this bigger drug deal with Scoot McNairy. Dermot Mulroney is a casino owner, and Scoot McNairy is just a fucking crazy motherfucker with a terrible haircut that has someone's tongue cut out in the first few minutes of the movie. And they're supposed to be exchanging cocaine and money. Well, Jamie Foxx interrupts that shit. His son gets kidnapped. Gabrielle Union, for some reason, is a nurse in a hospital because we need to keep introducing more faces you recognize. And they have this whole thing where he's been away from home for a while. Anyways, what it really boils down to is the first few minutes are good. There's a lot of questionable decisions, which ends up resulting in you sitting there wondering how well the script is written, because these characters are supposed to be established as police officers who have been in their station for many years, some of them over a decade, are just saying the dumbest shit ever if you've ever watched a cop anything. And then they just keep going off in weird directions that just don't make any sense. And at one point you're thinking, okay, I see where the movie's going, and then it makes a weird turn and you're like, well, wait a minute, weren't we just going this direction? It comes right back. It's like, oh, okay, good, I was right to begin with. I thought you were going to have a twist, and you don't. The shining points of the film for me personally were the action scenes. The fight scenes were actually very well executed. The director did a great job of covering that stuff, and I think a lot of that has to do with the casting. The people that Jamie Foxx ended up fighting who weren't just stuntmen, but they actually were characters in the film. They had dialogue, they had names, they have long-standing careers, all three of them, the main three guys that I'm thinking of at least, long-standing careers in Hollywood for the past couple decades of being big movie stuntmen. And this movie is one of the few movies where they actually got to be featured with their own faces. They just got to play themselves, they actually got to have lines of dialogue, and they deliver solid fight scenes. The problem I have with the movie is that we start off with Jamie Foxx being such a fucking badass, and then he's such a bitch through most of the movie.
His kid's kidnapped, man. It's tough shit.
His kid gets kidnapped. His side gets stabbed. That was one of my plus. Is that for the longest time? Yeah, he gets stabbed in the side, and he keeps addressing it. Like, they make it a point of the movie. He has to, like, his wound keeps bleeding, so he has to keep cleaning the wound and like changing his shirt and shit. But then there's a point in the movie they just give up. They stop addressing it. It's like, that's not a problem anymore. Jeez. We don't care. His kid, his 16-year-old kid, who by the way looks 23 fucking years old, is just all over this movie, and for some reason doesn't know how to run out of a Las Vegas casino, which I'm sorry, has enough exits in real life that he could have got away at least a dozen times throughout the course of this movie. And then a couple points does. There was one point, I was watching this with my girlfriend. We looked at each other and we totally couldn't understand how he got away from captivity. He's locked away. He's supposed to be in capture. And then the kid is just all of a sudden on the floor of the club in the next scene. Just total garbage. So just to boil it all down, it was a red light. It just, 45 minutes into the movie, I was like, man, I've watched an hour and 15 minutes of this movie. This is intense. I actually don't mind it. This is a yellow light action movie for me. And then I looked at the timeline and I realized, fuck, there's an hour left of this.
Try having that in a movie theater, man. It's
God,
awful.
dude, I feel so bad for you because it's like, you know what? You chose the movie. You do not get to choose the movie next time. And it was so disappointing because I was so pulled in by the cast is fantastic. I love everyone in this movie. Everybody's great in a lot of other things. But for some reason in this movie, it is the worst. And I know I've rambled on for quite some time because it was just, oh man, this movie just happened to me so hard.
It was pretty much the opposite of how we all felt about The Interview.
Yeah, exactly. I love that movie, but damn, this was a pile. Ironically enough, and to start handing it off to everyone's favorite segment of the show, I have to point out the star of the film, he himself on Howard Stern show said, this film is the hardest film for him to personally watch. Jamie Foxx himself hates this movie, and he starred in it.
To go with your tidbit that you gave us, Jamie Foxx, one of his quotes from the Howard Stern show He said Sleepless was a motherfucker. So he was at the BET Awards in 2017. He said, I can't wait to tell you about that joint, Baby Driver. It's crazy. It's cool. It ain't a typical film. It brings a thrill ride story, blah, blah, blah. He said, it's good, too. It ain't like that last joint I had. I know it's tough. It's tough when you still got to promote it. You know it's bad when they don't ask you nothing about the movie. They're like, man, that jacket you was wearing is tight. He's like, yeah, I know it sucked.
Jamie Foxx.
And then the last thing, apparently there's a movie critic that's called, his name's Ralph Seppi Jr., Ralph Seppi Jr., a movie, he's got a famous movie YouTuber, whatever. That was his pick for the best film of 2017.
Wow.
Guess who lost all their
to
credibility
avoid?
from these?
There you go.
Yeah.
Movie Toast is not who you should avoid. Like and subscribe. Smash the like button.
There we
Make
go.
sure you treat your hemorrhoids and eat plenty of vegetables.
All good things. All good things, guys.
And remember to stay
Good
healthy,
stuff.
stay inside.
Stay toasty.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Red
Twitter.
circle. Fuck me. I don't even know my own catchphrases anymore.
Reddit.
I'm a ding dong.
Reddit, Twitter, Instagram,
Bye, everybody.
Facebook, at
Do,
Movie
do,
Toast.
do.
At movie_toast.
Let's all start with
My
My cock is 12 inches long.
Wow, do you keep that thing in your pants? It sounds like a python.
I put it through the pee hole.
Doom, doom, doom.
Does your dick get cut up from like all the fucking the zipper action?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh man, how do you heal that thing, or is it always bloody?
It's probably leathery.
Oh man, how do girls react to that? That's gonna be scary.
What girls?
I guess that's a fair question. How do you masturbate? I guess.